Clemson and South Carolina face off in, Joe, what may be a playoff eliminator in the state of South Carolina this weekend. How do you see this one playing out?
South Carolina fans, you're welcome. I'm going to pick you guys to win in this game. In most environments,
guts, bud.
I don't even whatever. Here's my thoughts on this game. I'm going to pretend that the fans don't exist because they're just mean to me no matter what. Clemson, we could sit here and try to make the argument that they get the home environment, that Clemson's home stadium, Memorial Stadium, is a tough place to play. But their singular bad loss this year, the one that they suffered to Louisville, where they were boat raced. We all watched that game. We all saw what happened. They got ran all over in that Louisville game. And that was at home. That was probably the most surprising aspect of this season, was the fact that Clemson didn't even look like they had a pulse in that game. And they could not stop a freshman running back that kicked the crap out of them. That to me is enough evidence to believe that Raheem Sanders and Lenor Sellers and the rushing attack, they're going to produce. I think that this Clemson offensive line it was hyped up a lot in the beginning of the year. It's been propped up throughout parts of this year. I don't think it's as good as everybody thinks that it is. They are not ready for this challenge that they're going to face. They have not seen a pass rush unit, a defensive line that is this productive, this consistently disruptive like the South Carolina one. I feel pretty good about this. I really think that South Carolina is going to win this game.
Joe, where I come from, there are a lot of private schools. Actually, all of our private schools are Catholic, like religious schools. This game reminds me of the ultimate high-ranking high school game that had the high prep team versus the high public team, meaning, hey, man, we're a public school. We just got dudes. You know, we've lived a little bit tougher life than you. You got a mommy and daddy that got money. We don't. We got to go to public school. That's how I see this game going down, because one team's got some dudes. But, man, I'll give you this. Clemson's wins games by being fundamentally sound everywhere. Bro, they got talent. I'm with you. They're fundamentally sound. Defensively, they're fundamentally sound. And I'm with you. Look, South Carolina, their defensive line against this Clemson offensive line, I do think it's going to be a bloodbath. K. Klubnik better get to moving. 2 reads and he's out of there. But, man, I'm telling you, it's not, even though they're a top 15 unit defensively. Joe, South Carolina in the SEC versus 8 ranked opponents, they are 13th in the country in total defense. When I look at them, they have been tested. This is not the biggest test that they've seen all year. It's not remotely close. Now, Phil Maffa can lean on you and they can get that running game going, all that stuff. You about to run into something here, big dog. Joe, Lenor Sellers. We are not talking about him enough. We're not. Because in the last 2 games that we've seen him play, he's got 8 passing touchdowns. Joe, he's got 11 total touchdowns the last 2 games. There is nobody in the SEC right now playing with more swag, determination, and want to than Lenor Sellers. Nobody. And Joe, he has figured whatever it is. That dude has figured it out. If I would have told you in the beginning of the season that Lenor Sellers at any stretch of the season after conference play began, that he would have a game with over 600 yards in 2 weeks, 8 passing touchdowns, and 11 total touchdowns, you would say, holy shit, he's the guy that emerged this year at quarterback. What is going on? This kid, Joe, is going off. He did it against A&M. He did it against Mizzou. He did it against Wofford. He did it in the second half. Whatever.
All right, well, Wofford, it's Wofford. Can we?
Joe, this kid couldn't hit the broadside of a barn last year throwing the football. He couldn't. And now
I'm just saying, I don't mind you bringing up the other games. Wofford.
Okay, fair. All right.
Don't bring that up. Don't bring.
Well, I was going to bring up Whatever has happened to him since the second half of Alabama until now, Joe, the truth is they kind of offensively, they're tough to stop. I mean, now you're going on a 5-game stretch here where they've been extremely tough to stop offensively. They lean on you. Joe, to Shane Beamer's credit, if they go for 4 yards in the running game, they're going to line up and do that shit again. And they're going to do it again. And they're going to do it again. Dude, I think that they're the hottest team in the SEC. I'm sorry. I really do think that they're hitting a stride right now, man.
I mean, you're not wrong, and I have admitted that I was wrong, that South Carolina has continued to get better, and I've agreed with you on that. And Sellers has looked great. Clemson in this matchup, another reason to not feel good about them. They're 99th in defensive EPA per rush allowed. They are getting smoked on against the run, and that was supposed to be their strength. That was supposed to be their strength, that they were supposed to be able to play strong run defense and not allow teams to gash them. And that's what South Carolina is productive at. They're not efficient at it, but they're productive at running the football. We've seen the only thing, and I know that a lot of South Carolina fans don't want to admit it, I still don't think South Carolina's offensive line has been playing as good as everybody says it is. It's still statistically one of the worst. It is improved, and we're not jumping into this argument again. I don't have the energy to do that with you. All I'm just trying to say here is that if there is a world for Clemson to win this football game, it's going to be because they're able to get home and they generate pressures. They have to play their best game up front, and they have to be aggressive. They can't sit back on their heels and assume that that's how they're going to win the football game. They need to send pressure. They need to send pressure and hope that they can get home. Otherwise, they will get their asses run over like we've seen South Carolina do to opposing teams.
Here's the problem with that. Teams have gotten home, to your point, and I can't dispute that. Okay? The problem is nobody's been able to tackle Lenor Sellers.
Right. Well, nobody. That was the whole talking point that I had, was that Sellers' performance in the pocket and his poise in the pocket has improved the sack totals despite them still allowing a similar amount of pressures. They're giving up pressures, but he is just doing such a good job of evading it that the numbers have improved. So
go ahead.
I was going to say, if Clemson's able to finish, unlike all these other teams, that's going to be the saving grace for them.
You know what I feel like I'm watching?
What?
I feel like I'm watching what Anthony Richardson would have looked like if he would have stayed in college and developed.
I mean, I've heard a lot of people have been saying that this week, so I don't disagree with that. They're very similar.
People have been
players.
saying that.
There's been a lot of people who have been talking about how he looks.
I did not. I swear to God, I didn't know that. Swear to God.
Well, I wasn't accusing you of taking somebody else's take. I'm saying,
look, if somebody else did, give him the credit. I don't care. He is, though, man. He is.
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.